You're watching Truth versus Hype. Robert Vadra is back in the headlines after a report by Haryana bureaucrat Ashok Khemka found rampant violations in land deals by Sonia Gandhi's son-in-law. Those close to Vadra claim there's nothing illegal about these deals. But our investigation reveals that there's a fine line between illegality and rampant cronyism, where property traders close to the Haryana Chief Minister and the country's biggest real estate company go out of their way to ensure that Vadra becomes a millionaire without spending a penny. In his 100-page report, the deal that Ashok Khemka spends the most time on is what he claims is Vadra's illegal purchase of this piece of land in Shikhopur, Gurgaon, which Vadra's company Skylight Hospitality bought in February 2008.
The sale of this piece of land is crucial because, as we shall see, this is the first step in transforming Vadra, who had just entered the real estate market with the balance sheets of a few lakhs, into a billionaire businessman.
In the sale deed, Omkareshwar Properties states receiving a corporation bank check from Vadra's company for 7.5 crores and that there are no dues left, which Khemka argues is a bogus transaction since Vadra's balance sheet had only 1 lakh rupees as paid-up capital.
Khemka also refers to Corporation Bank's clarification that they had extended no such overdraft and that the 7.5 crores is simply a book entry in Vadra's balance sheets.
The actual payment to Omkareshwar is made a good 6 months later, by which time Vadra has sold the land to DLF and has money in his bank. Khemka says this nullifies the title deed, which was registered on the basis of money that never changed hands. Moreover, he says that by registering a check which they never intended to cash, Vadra and Omkareshwar have effectively lied to a public servant, a punishable offence.
Please understand, the offence under section 82 is if you make a false statement before the registering authority, either the vendor or the vendee. So in case 607251 is not a check of Skylight Hospitality.
That's the number of the check which Vadra wrote.
Yes,
yeah.
It's not a check of Skylight Hospitality and is not presented to the bank. Suppose it is issued of some other entity but not presented to the bank by Omkareshwar, and the payment is not realized through that instrument, and that statement has been made before the registering authority, and if 45 lakhs is not paid for by Skylight Hospitality as stated in the deed, then it's a false statement and invites an offence under section 82.
Vadra himself remained uncontactable. Are you officially representing Mr. Vadra?
No. I'm not representing Mr. Vadra. I have never met him in my life.
But as a well-wisher of the family?
That's right. Well, of course, I believe that family is being wronged here. And there is no criminality, there is no illegality. It's just...
Instead, he's being defended by KTS Tulsi, who says the deal is not illegal.
Sale is transfer of ownership, transfer of property, and if it is immovable property, for the money paid or promised.
Yes.
Or partly paid and partly promised.
But here no money was paid.
So even if it is not paid, it's a sale. If I am willing to sell for something which you will pay me after 10 years, or you will pay my children, it's a valid sale. I am transferring ownership.
I really doubt.
Independent voices say that illegality may be hard to prove.
When you hand over the check, the payment is made. Now, the encashment may take place at any point of time in the future. It does not matter when the encashment takes place.
Here, I think all these aspects were taken care of. The transaction was carried out. At the day of the transaction, money was paid or the instrument was handed over, as you say, and the sale deed was registered by affixing adequate stamp duty. So in that case, the sale deed becomes valid.
Since the payment has been made down the line, effectively the transaction is closed. There is no case that the seller does not have a case that he hasn't received the consideration. So effectively, I don't think that this is an issue at all.
But others say this is a classic Benami deal with Vadra simply a front for DLF.
It is a classical Benami transaction because in this case, though the sale deed is between Omkareshwar and Mr Vadra's company Skylight, but since the consideration for this sale is actually paid by DLF after 4 months, and Mr Vadra enters into a back to back agreement with DLF for selling or for reselling the same land to DLF immediately thereafter for 58 crores, it is quite clear that in this whole transaction Mr Vadra has acted as a benami for DLF.